You ever meet someone, or hey, maybe this someone is you, who just seems to be wired a little bit differently? I'm not talking about it in a loud, obvious way, but just in how they think and feel and see the world. It's this quiet feeling of not quite fitting in. And today, we're going to figure out why that might be.
You know that feeling, right? That you're just a little out of sync with everything happening around you. All the trends and social media challenges come and go, and you're just not moved by them. It's like you're an outsider looking in, even when you're standing right in the middle of a crowd.
Okay, so let's get into this, because this isn't just you being in your head. Psychology actually suggests this feeling could be a huge signal that you have a set of traits that are genuinely, truly uncommon. So we're going to break down the 7 biggest signs. All right, first up, let's start by looking inward. We're talking about the patterns in your thoughts and emotions, because this is where the biggest differences really begin. So here's the first big clue. While most people think in a straight line, like a simple to-do list, your mind is more like a spider web. For instance, if you're thinking about a career change, someone else might see step A, then B, then C. But you see it all at once. The financial impact, the emotional effect on your family, the bigger philosophical questions about your identity, all of it, all interconnected. And you can see the difference right here. A linear thinker sees things in black and white, a simple cause, a simple effect. But a layered thinker sees the whole system. You see the patterns, the hidden connections, even the contradictions that exist at the same time. And this is exactly why small talk can feel so absolutely draining. You're wired to think in these complex systems, but the world is asking you to talk in simple, disconnected sentences. It's exhausting. And hey, there's a name for this. It's called complex cognitive processing. And I want to be clear, this isn't about being smarter than everyone else. It's about having a fundamentally different operating system for reality. You're not just seeing the chess pieces, you're seeing the entire board and predicting 10 moves ahead. Okay, clue number 2. This one's all about your emotional world. You probably have this incredibly vivid, rich inner life, right? A full-blown orchestra of feelings playing inside you. But on the outside, people might just see you as reserved, quiet, maybe even a little hard to read. So what's going on here? It's something called high emotional attunement. It means you can walk into a room and just feel the vibe instantly. You pick up on what other people are feeling, sometimes before they even know it themselves. But here's the twist. You process all of that, plus your own deep feelings, on the inside. It's not that you're hiding anything. It's just that the emotions are often way too complex to boil down into a simple sentence. So now that we've looked at your inner world, let's shift gears. How does all of this stuff actually show up in the real world, in what drives you, and how you deal with people? Clue number 3 is all about what gets you out of bed in the morning. While it seems like everyone else is chasing more followers, a bigger paycheck, or the latest shiny object, you're on a totally different mission. You're looking for meaning, for purpose, for truth. You know, psychologists have a really powerful name for this: self-transcendence. It's a concept that the famous psychologist Abraham Maslow actually put at the very top of his hierarchy of needs, even higher than self-actualization. It's this deep, built-in need to connect with something bigger than yourself. And that's why a life built only on shallow achievements will always leave you feeling empty. You're just built for more. Okay, this next one, man, it can feel like a superpower and a curse all at once. You have this almost uncanny ability to read people. You see that tiny mismatch between their words and their body language, that flicker of doubt in their eyes, or the real meaning in what they aren't saying. And let's be super clear. This isn't you being paranoid. It's a very real skill called high interpersonal sensitivity. Think of it as having a finely tuned social radar. It's partly intuition, sure, but it's also backed by a lifetime of paying close attention. You spot the fakeness, the manipulation, long before anyone else does. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right, we're in the home stretch now. Let's pull together the final few pieces of this puzzle. These last 3 clues are often the most obvious ones, and they really complete the picture of this rare personality. So clue number 5 is that classic feeling of never quite fitting in. But here's the real reason why, and this is so important. You are fundamentally wired for authenticity, not for social adaptation. You would much rather be by yourself and be true to who you are than pretend to be someone else just to get accepted by a group you don't even connect with. Number 6, your mind just never, ever shuts off. Does that sound familiar? You're not just living your life, you're analyzing it and reflecting on it as it happens. Now, this constant inner conversation can feel pretty draining sometimes, but it's also where you get all your wisdom.
You don't just react on impulse, you act with real intention. And that brings us to our final clue. And honestly, it might be the most powerful one of all. When a crisis hits, when everyone else is freaking out and losing their cool, you have this amazing ability to become incredibly calm. You detach, you observe, and you start thinking logically.
And this incredible skill, it's called cognitive control under stress. In a world of constant emotional reactions and hot takes, being the person who can step back and think clearly when it matters most, that's not just rare, it's invaluable. You're the one who can find the signal in all the noise.
So, we've walked through all 7 clues now, from your inner world of thought and feeling to how you show up in the real world. So what's the big picture? What does it all add up to? Let's put it all together.
If you've been sitting here nodding along to all of this, here's the single most important thing I want you to take away. You are not strange. You are not broken. You are rare. These aren't just a bunch of random quirks. They are the signatures of a very real, very distinct personality type.
And this really sums it all up, doesn't it? All of these signs point to one thing. You are fundamentally wired for more. You're wired for depth. That's your layered thinking and your search for purpose. You're wired for awareness. That's your deep emotional world and your sensitivity to others. You're wired for truth, which is why you see through the fakeness. And you are wired for authenticity, which is why you'd rather stand alone than ever pretend to be someone you're not.
So I'm going to leave you with this one final question. Your whole life, you've probably felt, or maybe you've even been told, that you think too much, feel too much, see too much. But what if that's the completely wrong way to look at it? What if your mind isn't too much at all, but is simply and wonderfully wired for more?